Alright, welcome back to the lunch zone. We're going to be doing some more Disco Elysium, but I'll get us started with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge in Milwaukee that we are on traditional Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee homeland along the southwest shores of Michigami, North America's largest system of freshwater lakes, where the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnic rivers meet, and the people of Wisconsin's sovereign Anishinaabe, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Oneida, and Mohican nations remain present. At present, there are 573 federally recognized American Indian and Alaska Native tribes and villages, with government-to-government relationships with the United States. The citizens of these nations are also citizens of the United States, and their languages, cultures, and histories are a part of our shared story. Land acknowledgements help us to remember these nations and the ancestors who were stewards of the places where we live. For more information, go to the Bureau of Indian Affairs or the National Congress of American Indians. And then I do remember the important piece of information is we got like the name of the victim that motivated the Union to kill this guy.
Yes. We after a few tries, we convinced them of our.
We finally save scummed. I've been trying not to. I've been trying to take the L's as part of the gameplay experience, but it was
not
like
when it fundamentally halts the gameplay.
Yeah, it's like, oh well, you can't do anything.
At one point, I was like, it's okay if we just retry this. Because we hadn't got a roll all day, too. We got the first roll of the day.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get one the rest of the day. No checks were passed the rest of the day.
People are saying that digital games and analog games are different.
Who is it?
This is the police. Can we come
fine in this region.
Come on,
Nothing's going
door's
on at
open.
all.
Nothing happening.
If I don't notice the cult activity, it's not happening.
Right. Speaking of which, SDMS's SIG group for games is suggesting
changing
the name from video game.
Yeah, to just game, I think, or something like that.
Just like games, so it includes more.
So analog games are included.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
There's nothing inherently digital about it.
Pristine on the inside. Unlike the one next to it.
Not really.
What is the...
Because people talk about like analog forms of film, so.
Halo.
I guess it's just weighed more heavily towards the virtual.
It's a bigger industry.
Yeah.
And you hate to marginalize everything to capitalistic dollars and cents, but ultimately...
That's kind of how I hate to say it. Our business ontology of experiences.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it's like, I feel like Aaron Trammell was talking about, analog games there before, and there's been certain panels that are like physically focused on analog games, although it feels like it's few and far between.
Yeah. I know that when I published in AGS, I had to put a paragraph in explaining why my paper was analog.
As you look at the flowers,
to the point that even my editor was like, I understand it. It's clear to me. But you need to explicitly state why this is an analog, why a game show is an analog project.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like, alright, that's fine.
What do we pass, Jen?
We caught a flower.
Oh, let's go.
Used our incredible skills.
W.
What are you wearing?
Listen,
yes.
It's about stats.
It's
as so often video games.
yeah. We went into the apartments and we grabbed we went to some communist's apartment, and there was a
and we stole their stuff.
And we stole their jacket. Their
rubber pants and dishwashing gloves and everything.
I think we stole their jackets.
It's their lounge jacket.
Yeah.
So. And we're still wearing the gardener gloves because they give us better interfacing stats. As one does, right?
It looks dried. Maybe not. We'll see.
The petals feel dry. Water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. Inland, above the Martinez distributary. The wrinkled fingers of an old man.
What's up, Brian? How's your weekend?
The weekend was fine.
Welcome to the room.
I
Below her silvery jumpsuit.
Spent all of Friday on the phone with various tax agencies because
I'm sorry
I
to a mess
thought
down
that
there.
when you don't make any money
cleaning
in a
lady
year as a
hasn't come back in
business,
days.
why would you file taxes to
beginning
tell
to
them that you
wonder if
didn't make
Oh
any
no.
money? And so they tried to hit me with $8,000 in estimated
Oh.
taxes and fines from 2024. So I spent most of the day
Figuring that
sorting out how to close my business
out. Oh.
formally, because I was like, if we just don't do business, how do we owe taxes on no
Right.
revenue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to file and say we didn't do any business.
Mm-hmm.
So after dealing with something like 7 hours on the phone
Oh my
between
Where
Madison
the right court, the
and
woman
TurboTax
doesn't flinch.
and
But
my
there
bank,
is something
because when I
Oh,
bought
yes.
2-year-old tax
Legends of
software,
room
my
number
bank
one
put
have
a
made their
flag on
way
my
around the
account.
building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. They
It was
also say
interesting,
that's
to
why
say
the
the
cleaning
least.
lady
Oh boy.
quit. Because of the
I am Kim
Will be
Kitsuragi.
resolved as soon as
I'm a
I get
detective from Precinct
an
57.
amended
I see
return
you've already
sent
met
in the
my
mail
colleague.
today
Sure.
in Madison.
This does not come
That's
as good
not
news to him.
fun.
Have I ever?
But
Have you
then
grown
I'll never
accustomed
have
to
to
your
think
role
about
as a police officer?
because the business is closed. So
Yeah. What business was it?
it was the
Like
coffee
riding
company.
a coppercycle.
Miss,
We've been
we are
thinking about like
investigating the murder of the
transitioning
man who was hanged.
when I finish my
The
PhD.
people responsible
doing
have
more
asked
like
us to talk
event-focused
to
stuff
you.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
so it didn't
Huh.
Wait,
Be careful.
wasn't
Ask
necessary to hold
something
on to the
else
business name.
first.
sure.
When you go there,
Cool.
use words like,
But the weekend was
I
good.
hear you've been through something
Once all that
difficult.
stress was over, I just
Sure.
kind of like
She
hang out
looks
with my
at
wife,
the dried
Pretty.
That's nice.
which is
Looks like a dried mango.
something that I guess
Is that the
people
one
are
you
supposed
caught?
to do on weekends.
Some
Hang out with
is there
Right.
or an admirer.
wife and dog.
admirers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too old to be a
Kinda like-
It's the
debutante.
American dream.
Clausier.
Where's the wet picket fence?
Well, we gotta get a house first.
I know.
We don't have a yard to fence in at the moment.
Republic of
We have
Banana.
a small backyard that
I'm
we could cut
28.
with scissors faster than it would take to get a
Something
lawnmower.
stupid. What
Sure.
I needs-
Um,
What I need is literature. It's what
yeah,
I
just
studied
trying to
at the
like
university.
plan
Fear of failure. fear of
timing
death,
and like
how it
waiting to hear
sucks
back
be at our
from administrators.
If that's true, then
where
Revacholian
I'm
lit
allowed to
would fit
pay
you
rent for
like a
field
glove.
work.
Nothing.
Like if I
I
have to
do
go to
nothing
travel
with
bank
it.
or
Mm-hmm.
if I can just
It's
submit
not very
external
cool.
receipts.
But what can you do? The record.
Any timeline? Any
So
advances in the
official.
timeline yet?
Well, there's been a little bit of a
Something
pushback on the
difficult?
timeline because I
I've
was
been
going to go
through
to
at
North
least
Carolina
half a dozen
around like the
difficult
first or
things
second week of
by
July.
Sexually assaulted, you mean?
But I
Yes.
heard from my contact
It's a
in
bit
North
early in the
Carolina, and
morning
they
for
said
rape,
that it would be a
isn't
bad
it?
time for me
She
to come
sounds
down because it's like
positively
the middle of the
buoyant.
session when like
Vivacious.
most
Totally
people
unbothered.
aren't. It's not like a regular
Is it?
group. It's kind of dropping.
It
Yeah.
is after.
Which I didn't really expect to like do
I'm
participant
flying,
observation
yeah.
at that point anyway. I just
I'm
like
gonna
was
go
trying to
with
get down
not
there in
rape.
time to
By
like
him,
be
she
there
must
for the
mean
start of the fall.
Get things
Tell
set
them
up.
it's not my style. They'll
But if
have
that
to,
doesn't start till
you know,
September,
if they
that
want
could
to
give me a
jazz up
little
the
bit
charges,
more
they'll have to get
leeway.
someone more rapeable.
Are you saying
We'll
that you were
see.
asked
Yeah.
to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but
I hate to
I
miss out
understood
on
what they
data,
meant.
but if there's no data to collect,
it wouldn't hurt to
you know.
spice things
Yeah.
up a bit.
That's good.
Some assault and
Good
battery,
point.
sexual assault maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier.
Yeah. So you'll be with us for a little
Partied.
longer.
A bit. I mean, I don't know. My meetings are getting really busy
Yeah.
for work.
I see how it is. You don't want to hang out
Particularly
with
at
us.
11 o'clock. But
About
I'm
time.
trying to
That's
ignore
what
the
it
ones
is.
that I want to.
With all due
because
respect, sir, I think we
today
partied
I have
a
very
little
little
harder than
valuable
that.
input in
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
What did you do when
We drank
I did find out there's an abbey
A
in
lot.
North Carolina
for
Oh.
weeks,
Oh.
that
basically.
might be
We had that
a
effect
cheaper
on each
place to
other.
stay.
That's
We made
cool.
each other drink
It's
harder.
like also a college,
That's
so
why
they
I
might
liked
be
him.
like, no.
Yeah.
what else?
It's worth checking out.
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking hard a
Just
little.
kind of like
The drug
fancy.
How did you two
Ready
meet?
to go.
It
downstairs.
just feels like I'm waiting for
At the bar.
things to fall into place.
He was on
Just
some
wanna
sort of
go and, like,
assignment.
That's the
military
worst part.
man,
Do
as
the
you
thing.
probably know.
Whenever I'm
appears
in
aloof,
traveling,
but that
it's
scar
in
part, the scary
that
is
sort of
stressed and
small
drawn out.
window of like,
What's that about?
ready to go. I've got everything good to go. I just
Longing.
This is making me anxious just sitting here.
That's why I always put like all of my appointments in the morning, because otherwise I'm gonna be thinking about my appointment all day. Even if it's at like 5 p.m. I'm like, okay, but we have an appointment.
And I can only really accomplish one thing in a day if I'm stressed about it.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. I'm completely with you.
A month ago?
I'm finally getting
Something like that.
my passport.
Oh, nice.
So, because I was in the position where like I got one when I was a minor, and so I have to go through like the actual process again.
I still don't.
I was like, especially with I was like SCMS is in Canada next year, so I need to get one. Might as well get it now. Plus, it would be a good thing to have in case.
In case you want to like vote.
Yeah.
That's true. I in Washington you have the I'm still a Washington resident, technically.
Don't say that too loud. The state of Wisconsin will be upset with you.
Which is why I never changed my license plate.
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Since the last,
Not right now.
how many?
Later, maybe.
Almost 5 years now.
You're a full-time student. This can be considered a temporary
he's now.
Exactly.
I can't talk about it.
And it's just easier.
I don't know.
Because who knows what happens after this. So I was never a California resident either. You know, I was there for 8 years. So
I had to become a North Carolina resident specifically because of like how my TA ship worked. Basically, if I hadn't become a resident by the second year of my program, I was going to. They only covered they would only cover in-state tuition. And so so they would have. I would have had to pay all of the extra. And getting a North Carolina residency was like a process.
Really?
That was the only way I could get an assistantship in North Dakota was if I was an in-state resident. But like North Dakota's policy is like show up
We
at
can
the
return to it
DMV,
later.
turn in your out-of-state license, we'll give you an in-state license.
That seems a little
We
bit
had
easier.
somebody
And
to
North
do with
Dakota
the
State
strike.
doesn't have like
One has been roiling since I got
an
here.
embargo on residency.
rolling.
I think
at
he
least
was
for
in the
grad
security
students,
detail.
like,
Sure.
if
He was
you are a North
ex-military,
Dakota resident,
worked
you
for a
are an
while.
in-state
And the
resident,
Christian friend?
regardless of how long you've been there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Warming.
That's nice.
I'm 89% sure.
But since the Washington
She
licenses
sincerely
are
thinks
still
it's very
whatever the
cool.
real IDs, I
Oh,
can go
yeah.
to Canada at least.
For now, I mean,
Who knows what happens in the
who knows
future,
Takes us
how
a little
badly
step closer.
administrations
called it
piss each other off.
BRCM.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Jack.
But hey, the blockade is
I made it.
lifted now, so
And I
it's a
would
W,
appreciate
right?
it.
It's a W. We got back to where we were before we
Exactly.
started the war.
And now hopefully the gas prices will go down a little bit.
They couldn't
Which they probably won't
handle it
because
anymore.
they're making enough money on it anyway.
None of these.
Tearing off his arm.
It started to go down
Demeaning.
already.
I know.
I didn't
I'm just being
exactly disguise it.
a pessimist.
So she's.
It's
got
just crazy when it was California. Like in Wisconsin, it's California. It was
I don't know,
California.
sir.
You know, like California
stupid.
prices
Mhm.
in
I was drunk,
Wisconsin.
too.
It's
Thank
like,
you for making
That's
the
nearly
call.
like $5.
It was the
a
right
gallon.
thing to
you
do.
know,
Like I remember 2006 when it was like
I
it
didn't
peaked
want
out
to,
at like
sir.
410 or 415.
And
a
he's
gallon.
still hanging there.
And people were
We will
like
move the body to
making
morgue
really
today.
tough decisions. Like
They're
fortunately,
frequent
that's how I quit smoking.
Downstairs.
I couldn't
They have
afford
a big
gas and
reunion
cigarettes at the same time.
They're probably
and one
down
of them
there
was
now.
optional.
I guess that's a W.
But-
I guess.
But like you pick and choose the silver
Favorite
linings,
drinks?
right?
It's been a long boy. A little.
Yeah. No,
Like you partied with the DC?
No. Not
that's
as
something I
hard.
should do.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical...
Other
I
things
have.
To worry about, like mowing
Which
Stuart's
ones,
lawn when he's gone.
sir? I don't
I'm
recall.
going to his house tomorrow. He's teaching me how to use his electric lawnmower. That's apparently very finicky.
know.
He already sent me an email of
I'm-
about
like
it was like
that.
2 pages worth of documents about how to
She
use
trains
his
I think
lawnmower.
electric lawnmowers are finicky when it's really just put the battery in
I-
and go.
I'm like I think I can figure it out, sir.
We may
I
have to
mowed
discuss
lawns
that.
for like summers on
Yeah.
end, so I think I'm okay. But
I'm overqualified to mow your lawn, Stuart.
twice when you're gone, like it's real. I understand you're like you're trying to make it very
Yeah.
easy on me, but it's
You're
like
just one
I
room
think
away.
I think it'll be
You do
okay.
not-
You're trying to make it very easy on me by adding an extra task for me to do this week.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
He is paying me
Please do your
exorbitantly for
personal
it,
stuff
so
when I'm not here.
for 2
Why
mows.
not?
So
I'll be here.
I'm like, okay, that's like an hour of my time, you know. That's okay.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window. Nothing
We're
will make
making
them
progress.
respect you.
Yeah, we're discovering the mystery.
Yeah.
So we found out she was
Tricked off
planted
one
to
layer of
say
whatever
that
it
this guy
is.
assaulted her
The
when he
decision
didn't.
to not
Yeah.
corroborate their story
We
was
actually had
definitely not
was
part
it,
of the
is it,
plan.
it's relatively consensual. Right?
Yeah, they were just like getting fucked up and partying for multiple weeks.
Yeah.
What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so?
You guys have plans
Being candid
for
is the best way to lie.
fall
The
programs?
appearance of candor with some facts thrown in draws
Like
attention
events?
from whatever
Well,
one
no,
chooses.
for-
to
Oh,
do.
like,
for,
oh, yeah.
like the Twitch programming you want to
Sure.
do.
I'll
Yeah.
send that to
Just
you.
shoot me an email with your schedule so I can start building out.
I'm online, so I'm pretty free in terms of.
Yeah, I'm
being
also
on campus.
entirely online next semester, so I'll still be able to do Lunch Zone. I'll still be doing Cozy Corner.
Mhm.
And then I know there's a couple of shows being pitched and possibly happening.
I just wanted to
She may be trying
probably
to
the horror
control the
game
pace of
thing,
the
where it's maybe an hour a
investigation.
week, just
Anyway,
playing some
we
horror
should
games.
move
Is that going to be
I
enough
suspect
time
our
to like
inquiries will
get
bring us
into a
back here
horror
soon
game on a
enough.
weekly basis? Or you need 2 hours?
There's a lot
That's
of
a good
short horror
question.
games, like
Yeah.
itch.io ones.
That's a good question.
Also, the programming will be more successful in 2 hours than 1 hour.
Yeah.
I could do 2 hours, honestly. That might be better. You're probably right. If I do have to play Death Stranding, I will need 2 hours.
You gotta get through that opening cutscene.
Yeah, you got to get through a
Yeah,
cutscene.
exactly. Which I will have to play eventually, but so it might be better to do 2 hours. I'll send you some details. Cool thing to think about. Because I've been thinking about.
I don't only mean course schedules. I mean like.
Oh, sure, like any
Life
other.
schedule.
So I can like
Yeah.
plan out the program schedule.
Oh yeah, I just want to make it clear that I'm pretty clear, just in case people do have like lots of conflicting stuff. I can kind of work around their schedules.
Yeah. And then I guess the other thing is I want to do like a co-working thing that would happen in here, and like technically it'd be streamed. I have like a couple of like co-working games that I would basically has just like a visual.
Every like 40 minutes or whatever you do a thing. I forget what those.
Or, like there's like some like lo-fi ones where it's like you have a little avatar. There's like one where it's like it's a social game, but, like you don't chat with people. It's literally just like digital co-working in a way. But that way it's just like it would be an opportunity for more people to get together and hang out with each other.
Especially when you're dissertating.
Yeah, I was like,
kind of get a little lonely.
I'm gonna be up here anyways most of the time, honestly.
Yeah, let me know like what you. That seems like a good like daytime program.
Yeah.
So just let me know.
I was gonna wait for everybody else to decide when they need to stream, and then I would just find whatever slot is open.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that we have to like kind of work around is for the esports show, we're gonna be streaming all of the esports scrimmages live. So there might be something around that way.
I knew
Sure.
that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
You've bit
But I don't have anything
Titus is
resembling a
For
schedule
the record,
for that.
Titus Hardy did not
And,
explicitly specify the
If people are,
shut
if
up
we're
and stay out
still
of
gonna
this,
do the
Liz.
like, if we're still interested in doing the like
She's just in denial, asshole.
horror games
You don't
little
understand the
showcase
traumatic
too, like we did
experience.
last.
Yeah.
She's
So
checking
people
out.
want to stop by, we can
And she
play those
doesn't
games
fucking
that
trust you.
people are interested in playing to like
Yeah, she's crazy.
Oh,
about
okay.
during that. Yeah, that could be like a
crazy
pre,
bitch.
kind of a like a
You know
good
the
kind of
type.
Like an event thing.
yeah,
She's fucked up.
where we can kind of do like some like interweaving of if people are like, oh, I need to play this game, and it's like, well, if you want to schedule it, we can just do it during
Lawman.
during that time too.
I'm at the end of my
Because I know it helps me as somebody
You
who's
went and pushed her.
trying to get.
Titus Hardy.
I hate the word optimize, but I do need to optimize my schedule.
Not even optimized, just held accountable.
Yeah.
I think the fall semester,
To take care of this.
and like correct me if I'm wrong, but it
If
felt like
someone
it
has
was
to
very
rush in to
productive
bring
for you to get the games you
the
needed to
second
play.
Oh yeah, yeah. It helped me kind of get some ideas.
So just
in terms
creating
of-
like
We know that fuck
a
was a
group
rapist
schedule
and a
around the
killer.
thing you need to do.
We got
sometimes
him
a really good
confessing to
idea.
it on tape.
I've got the.
Show it to him,
I was,
V.
I was talking to
Here,
Allie.
jerkwad.
Oh,
Listen to this
speaking of
shit.
which,
Then
I
come
saw
back
the
and tell
back
me the
rooms
soldier of the
review on
apocalypse was
Thursday.
innocent, man.
And it
You don't
kind of
care
helped
about
open some
that,
the
baby.
the ideas that I was thinking about that were kind of going nowhere.
We go let the door
Like the
go
back
and
rooms,
that's-
very
You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb.
analogous with
We
this
have
experience.
Understood. You've
And so I think I'm
Since
going
way
to kind of
before
rework
their
some of
chief
my
started taking
thesis,
swing
my
lessons.
Things got
dissertation
nice
chapters,
and quiet after
into
that.
kind of
It's not
broader,
advanced.
some broader
You
ideas
just
in
hold
terms
up.
of
Don't
how
put
I'm
yourself down at.
Yeah, man.
thinking about like
You're like a
arranging
radio
it,
genius.
I'm sure
arranging
we
the
can find a tape
experiences.
Where can I
'Cause at
listen
first
to
I was
it?
thinking
Yeah.
about
Play it with-
doing
I'm
it
sure we
around
can find a
the
tape player. It
media
will
texts
help.
themselves, like having that be the kind of
Don't forget your tape, lawman.
the broad kind of
You do
example that will
Oh,
lead to the rest of the
keep it.
analysis and the kind of
Maybe you'll need
infusing
a
of the
reminder
theory,
of keeping up
intertwining
with
of the theory. Now I'm like, well, it seems easier now that I've had some ideas going to just have a broader idea and then maybe use a few more examples in terms of like texts that will kind of feed into those ideas. And just seeing the movie kind of opened up some more pathways in terms of thoughts. I was talking to Allie. Me and Allie have very similar interests. And kind of ghosts and such. Ghosts and stuff. Dead mouse. And I know you saw Backrooms too, right? It's good, Scarlett.
Yeah.
Kim also tries not to
I was
look at
very
the pile of
fascinated
tape
by how
viscera
that kind of translated
carpet,
into a cinematic
or
experience.
the weird suitcase on the hat rack,
There's a lot of cool ideas that were
or the
coming from
potted
it.
plant
Yeah,
dying in
I
the
just really
corner.
love the practical sets.
But it's all
Yeah.
just
I was like,
too
the lighting was really good. There's like a couple parts in the film where it's like it felt like I was looking at video game graphics,
Yeah.
because the lighting was so like weird and like
Yeah.
it's really good at like triggering that like this feels wrong, but I can't place why,
Sure.
like, which is the whole goal of like something like the Backrooms.
Right. And even like there was just a lot of really cool ways that I was very surprised. I wasn't like had like a bad. I wasn't like going in with low expectations or anything because I thought it was going to be good anyway. But I was just like, it even kind of. I was very impressed in terms of what was happening, and it really did kind of open up some of the and just the way it was kind of adapted from the kind of lore-based experience that is like digital horror, and turning it into like a 2-hour movie basically. So something that is in practice like I don't know how many hours, of people, either YouTube videos, people explaining the stuff, the actual videos themselves, the kind of extra kind of labor you do to understand these experiences. Yeah. To make it into a 2-hour movie, into something that is a bit more, not digestible, but something that can be understood in 2 hours.
Do you feel like it did a good job of giving you something understandable?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because we have some. Me and Scarlett have some background with backroom stuff, but which is hard to say for like the person who just goes into it and watches it and goes, I don't understand it. Why is it so slow?
I think, yeah, I mean, I know like this film obviously like isn't going to connect with people who are looking for like a very like ooga booga sort of like horror experience.
It's not a slasher flick, so
no. It has some really good like kills though.
Yeah,
like
some very horrifying moments.
Like really good at building tension.
Yeah.
But I think like if you're someone who's even like not familiar with the Backrooms, but you kind of like are into this kind of film, I think you would still be able to generally understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you also don't need to understand what's going on entirely to enjoy the film. Because like that's the whole thing of the Backrooms is like it is confusing and weird.
It's a little bit of horror in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I think the only part.
Everything it's not as spooky.
Right. Yeah, the only part I didn't like was like the ending specifically, where like it got like very exposition-y off the end of like, oh, we have to establish that this is part of a facility. But that's always been the part that I don't like about the Backrooms. Is I actually don't like that it's something that's being studied.
Sure.
I'm like, SCP already did that. We don't need to do that again. I think
Right.
it's cooler if it's just a weird thing that people encounter.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We still have those boomboxes.
I think it did it in a way where I'm with you. I don't like the
boomboxes
over-explaining aspect of these things. So I'm completely, especially like within it when it gets really like particular, where it's like on level 167 of the Backrooms. It's like I don't care, like whatever. You don't have to like. But I think it did it in a way where I was kind of fascinated.
8 is an even better number than 12. Even more internal.
We can play a song.
Better integrity. And here you are. Quality
karaoke.
sound reproduction on the go.
Did it in a way that I found very interesting, just because of how it engaged with the kind of characters that were in this movie. Because each character kind of engages with the backrooms through their own perspective, their own personal, either whether it be occupation or like just perspective on life. So it's like the business owner is seeing it through his kind of business owner lens, right? And he's trying to own the he's trying to own the space, like even though it's a space that can't be owned because of how it's a cultural memory, where it's like you don't own cultural memory. It is cultural memory for
really
reason.
try.
Exactly. And he's a character who does try to do this, really. He's like, this is my space now, basically.
When this shit is done,
which is very
I'm gonna tear
fascinating.
that place
Even when
up.
he's in like a very liminal, strange space,
Yeah.
he's trying to put his business ontology on a space that can't understand capital.
Gonna run a room corner. A room
And then, through like the therapist idea, it's a completely different experience.
It's weird because it's not.
I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that
My
disco
understanding
cunt
of
on
that
the
is
counter.
not that it's
You
about
know,
capital. It's just
Never did get that taste out of my
right.
mouth.
Like it's after all of the investments are no longer valuable.
And
Yeah.
What's left.
Yeah, in a way, because it's it's detritus of
probably
what
recorded
it's
after
it's
the show,
detritus of
then
past,
edited.
right? It's
More incriminating.
it's
If only
accelerationist
it
in a way,
wasn't
where it's like
There's more going
we
on
rush
there.
towards the end of
One
capital
of
and
the
see
other
what happens,
mercenaries,
right?
I think, was talking. The
Which,
village on
funny
the
It
enough-
has to
side
get
of
better, right?
Yeah, no, it does not, and usually gets worse.
the
As we can see by Nick
More
Land,
questions for class.
if we were thinking about
This
his
seems
kind
to
of
contradict
like almost schizophrenic take on the kind of right, the super right-wing conservative ways of thinking about accelerationist issues. Which is funny enough because we also saw the Masters of the Universe movie, and that movie also is kind of an accelerationist text as well.
And from my understanding, also shit.
And not very. It's very silly fun. It's the best 2-star movie you'll see.
I don't know. I did just see Mortal Kombat 2, so
I said it's Mattel too, so I was like, look out, Barbie. The boys are back.
I forget. I don't remember who's in it, but they said that the Masters of the Legends or Masters of the Universe movie is like they watched the Barbie movie and watched the success of the Barbie movie and decided to intentionally take all the wrong points.
In the best way possible. If you can kind of try to imagine it. I was thinking about it. I was just like, yeah, it's like it's just trying to do boy version of Barbie for sure. But they do, as somebody like whose like only real engagement with He-Man is like very peripheral. It's like Adult Swim. It's like the music video,
Right.
right? And the What's Going On music video,
I was
which
just
they do
thinking.
play in the movie.
It's bonkers to assume that this wouldn't be a capitalistic money like grab bag.
Oh, sure.
When like the whole show was a toyified show to begin with, like there was never a part of this show
Right.
that wasn't built around
Just
making
selling-
toys to sell.
Yeah, just selling.
And so
just
to
selling
assume that
characters.
like 30 years later we're all of a sudden going to have like a values focused
Yeah.
version
Which
of
is
Masters of the Universe
it's so
is
funny.
a bonkers reality to live in.
It's so funny because, like, it's like the characters are like, I don't know if this is the case, but like, of course, the
Like, he wasn't
characters
actually there.
in
He didn't do
in the
a
movie
tour,
are
or
just
at
like
least didn't tell
basically
me.
what he like
No.
what the main character
I'm pretty sure he
remembers
did
them
all those
as, like when
things.
they were 10 years old.
And
It's
then
like,
had
oh,
to
it's
realize
Ram
that he
Man,
took on
you
Right.
know, and it's like Fisto,
Until
you
they
know. Of
just
course, like it's like I don't know if those are the actual characters'
Right.
names. Nobody does, really. I would
And it
guess.
sounds like
They're not credited.
Yeah.
And
And so it's very fun in that way, right? Where it's like engaging with like the kind of
When he said he was done,
like what you would call these
done
like
mentally,
the toys you had as a
didn't sound
child,
like a
right?
joke.
It's just like
Sounded like a deep.
people who are like disappointed by the
Maybe
movie.
I
It'd be the
pieced
same
it
if they
what?
went and saw like
that tape the Hardy
a
Boys
modern
would put
live
on
action
the
retelling
physical
of Street
robustness and
Sharks.
social
Right.
And we're like, what do you mean it was built to sell toys? This is ridiculous. I have strong feelings about the
About
moral
this.
value of Street
Right.
Sharks.
And It's. I guess Vin Diesel would be the one who does it. Vin Diesel was. I don't know if you ever seen like the video of Vin Diesel talking about the street sharks.
I have not.
It's incredible. Like he very much has that like brain that when he obviously was like super into like the kind of like masculine toys at the time. And he was telling it's an old YouTube video. Just type in Vin Diesel Street Sharks, and you'll see him talking about how cool all the Street Shark characters are. And he obviously like transferred that like super hyper focused to like Chronicles of Riddick, and then like the Fast and Furious movies.
I just want to listen to somebody be like, Street Sharks is all about a marketplace of ideas.
Yeah.
When they go on feeding frenzies, they're feeding on notions and values. What are you talking about?
Excuse me. But the funny thing about the Master Universe is that so the premise kind of spoil some Master Universe movie. Is that okay? The premise is that He-Man gets sent to our world.
Yes.
When he's very young, when he's 10 years old, and he loses the sword, so he can't get back to Eternia, which is whatever the land that he's from. That Skeletor is conquered.
Any thoughts on this?
It's just so funny to say. But
Jared Leto is
Jared.
How
Funny
does
enough,
the man keep getting hired? I don't understand.
who funny enough, guy he says he hates the movie. He actually is very funny in it. It's like he gives a good performance, not like he does in the horrible Tron movie that he was just in.
Jared, this is the first positive performance you've given in 20 years.
Exactly.
What do you mean it's your least favorite film?
Where he actually does a very good Skeletor, which is very funny.
There will be blood on the.
But He-Man, who they try to make look not buff, but it's like he's obviously very huge. He's wearing like a pink shirt, like a big collared shirt.
If we fem him up a little bit, he'll look weaker.
Exactly. And like he's at the gym at one point in time with like Dolph Lundgren is there, of course, because why wouldn't Dolph Lundgren be there? And he's like wearing like a gray cat sweatshirt. And I'm like, that's awesome, actually. Like, I would wear that. But he works in HR, and so like he's very good at his job as an HR employee. But he tries to use his HR abilities in Eternia, but they don't work there. So I'm like, wow, the rhetoric of capital. The head holds no sway in Eternia. So this is technically an accelerationist text because we have passed capital in Eternia. All the rhetoric that we have of our sort of neoliberal ideology in terms of individualism and putting the onus on this.
It's just crony capitalism.
Doesn't hold any sway.
Skeletor's just the authoritarian of Eternia, putting all of his most loyal subjects in positions of power, even if they're wildly unqualified.
Sure, but also he's the only one who holds any power, and if it was a neoliberal text, he would have a traumatic backstory, because that's what builds him as an evil character. Because we can't have just an evil character, but it is revealed that he is just an evil character. So technically, we have gone beyond neoliberalism in Eternia.
Beyond neoliberalism and back to
the man before you is naked, but for
Of course, you have questions.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
No, bad things didn't happen. He's just an evil guy.
Yeah, he's just an evil guy, and so. And technically, the only thing that can get anyone pumped up is he tries to give like a speech, and like the only thing that gets everyone pumped up is the kind of nonsensical words that come from Dolph Lundgren, the guy at the gym. So technically, this is an accelerationist text. That's what I'm trying to say.
We can't justify our opinions with logic and thought. We just need to appeal to emotion.
Exactly. So any sort of like effective streams have been absolutely altered in Eternia.
You know what? I expected nothing else from the Masters of the Universe movie. anyone who's surprised at this is they're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was having very fun doing a kind of like gymnastics, mental gymnastics of how I can read this text as something that's not.
How about
So again, a very good 2 out of 5.
aiming at us right now? Somewhere above, the man's breathing
What did we
steady as
watch last night? We watched that movie based off that PlayStation horror game from 2016. What was it called?
What is
Not
it?
Death by Daylight.
How can I
It's
help
the
you?
other one that's titled like Death by Daylight.
That's.
Was it?
I mean, Dead by Daylight is the game. It
Dead
has
by
a bunch
Daylight?
of franchises in
It's
it.
not. I always get the two confused.
Because Dead by Daylight is it's the multiplayer one.
Yeah, it's not that one.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Which is again a reference to Evil Dead.
Right. No, it was
Always glad to help out the
Metatextuality.
Shame I
What?
can't, you know.
Metatextuality.
what's that one that's like the first of like the
Oh, Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Yes, yes,
Nothing
yes.
to worry
How was that?
It was okay. It was good. It was better than the game was.
We didn't like the 7 out of 10 game.
I didn't like that to cover their bases. They put every horror trope they possibly could into the game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's a mining accident that's connected to an old summer camp
That's
that also exists on an Indian burial ground.
That's also connected to like the sanitarium.
The sanitarium.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is a lot. But
That's
they just kind of
connected to-
picked one in the movie, and it was nice.
Yeah. And then he also like the guy turns into like R.J. McCready from The Thing too as well. Yeah.
Kind of
That's nice.
Huh?
So it was good. And then the night
Oh,
before we watched
the bosses, man.
a new horror movie with Zazie Beetz in it called
Makes sense.
Maybe don't tell people. The people they don't like
I
are.
don't remember,
Wow, you were.
but it involves her
Oh, yes.
taking
You
a
hustle.
cleaning job
You're a look at yourself.
at
You're a human pedometer.
cult of
That is the
Satan's,
sign of a
this,
hustler
like
who never
apartment
gives up.
building.
The world is harsh. and
Interesting.
people
It's very
That's
it's
just
very
what
Evil
it's
Dead
like.
silly.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I was like nervous because it was a little bit like, oh, rich people buy.
Oh,
rich
I know.
people buy.
I know what you're talking
And
about.
then
Yeah.
It turned into a very like camp
and
horror.
sprint.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm here for
You're in
Yeah.
a cell. You didn't log that in as a donation
What was
either.
it called? They're gonna
You
kill.
don't
They're
show.
going to kill you.
Yes,
maybe?
yes,
And
yes.
is it
That's
easy?
what.
Very on the nose.
Yeah, I think I told Matthew this is the most they're going to kill you movie that has ever been made.
Still, because of the taxes, G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your. Every time you
Yeah,
wipe your
I'll check that
ass,
one out.
they got their direct and their indirect.
It wasn't good. It was shit. It
98%
was
of
shit for
all
all the
your
right
money.
Yes, exactly. We started Widow. Have you heard of Widow's Bay? It's an Apple TV show
Here you go,
made by
hustler.
the guy,
Fight the
made
righteous fight.
directed by the guy who did all Childish Gambino stuff. It's like Elena, which I loved, and then written by one of the head writers from Parks and Rec. So it's a very kind of mixture of like horror comedy with Matthew Reeves from like The Americans. Actually, very good. Each episode is like a new kind of like it's kind of like it's basically they're doing Jaws, where it's like with like this New England island is going to be the new Martha's Vineyard, but it's like haunted by everything.
So every episode is a new horror trope.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very fun.
ABC had a show like that in like 2007 called The River,
Mm-hmm.
where like this research team goes to the Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And like every episode was it was like zombies in the first episode, and then a werewolf, and then like, and it was really good. Like
Yeah.
it was frustratingly good.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It survived one season, and it's unavailable for streaming.
Of course. Yeah. As these things are now.
In its defense, it was never available for streaming.
Oh, yeah, but now it's, yeah.
I was the only person who enjoyed the show.
It's fun to have those shows. Scarlett, are there shows like that for you where it's like nobody else remembers this one, but I enjoyed this show?
I don't know if I have like any TV shows that are like that
Like
niche
movies
that I
or
was
something.
into. There's probably some films.
Mhm.
If I scroll long enough in my letterbox.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I was like, I think there's like a lot of like niche games I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the ones I kind of want to write about for like my conceptualization of this concept of like the zany game as an alternative to the, or like kind of like the opposite of the cozy game is it's this game called Tulip that was for the PS2, and I've never played it. I've watched a lot of playthroughs of it, and it's a game where you are a poor boy. Literally, like it's like your name.
Poor boy.
And you move to a new town. You immediately fall in love with this girl, and so you try to kiss her, and she's like,
You're a poor boy as in a person or as in a sandwich?
"Oh, a person, not a po' boy."
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What was I thinking?
Yeah, so you try to kiss this girl, and she's like, "No, you can't do that because you need more experience."
Oh,
so you have to kiss a bunch of people in the town, and they'll only kiss you if you do favors for them. This includes her mom and her dad.
Interesting.
It's like one of those like peak like Japan games. Like, oh, this is strange and weird and very like culturally specific. But it's also like weirdly very endearing to me.
Yeah.
It also has a really good soundtrack for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Very Mia console, Japanese,
What can I help you with?
right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there were some
Claire is
the
a
new
Everard
drama
he is
or the
most
new
corrupt individual I have
reoccurring
ever
discourse
seen.
that happens once every
Edgar
6
looks
months
exactly like his brother. It's how they
on video
circumvent the
game
term
social
of
media
course.
that I'm engaged with is
Of course, anything to help. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news.
the act of LARPing now. It seems to be like a very big thing.
Like do you mean actual LARPing or do you mean the weird slang term?
The weird slang.
Oh, okay.
So it's the like,
pretending to be into something to be cool.
Yeah, it's the kind of
I think it's actually
cultural dominant of LARPing now.
Yeah,
they kind of changed what the meaning is, of course.
So cloud chasing.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, like it's used in a lot of like very like incel-y ways though sometimes, where it's like, oh, this girl can't be pretty and into this niche thing I like, therefore she's faking it.
Yeah.
Hasn't this just been going on for 15 years though?
Yeah.
Again,
or forever potentially. But
again, it's the every 6 months. But
everything is always, nothing new ever happens.
Yeah. And but in this particular instance, the focus was on. The discourse was on, can you really be a fan of a game franchise if you
never
haven't played it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yes. So there's a lot of people saying, no, you can't, just because of their reasons.
Certainly the franchise.
Yeah, right.
I might have a more nuanced opinion of a game itself.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, engage with video games in the way of like watching Let's Plays, which I do a lot, because I don't have time to.
Yeah, I guess I would say like if you've never played the game and been frustrated by shitty mechanics, you probably are not a fan of the game in the same way that like I don't know. But certainly
I think
the
you can
franchise
get a lot
overall,
of the like secondhand frustration from watching playthroughs because like I really like the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Unfortunately, I've played a couple of the games because I don't find the gameplay loop is not fun for me.
Yeah,
but like I watched.
But this is what I mean though. It's like I don't like the gameplay loop. Well, that's a major part of the game. Right?
But it's not because I think the gameplay loop is like bad. It's just because it's not my kind of like gameplay. But like even like watching like Markiplier play Security Breach was like notoriously like on release it had so many like game breaking bugs and glitches. Is like I understood that this was a frustrating experience just from watching him.
I guess you get different.
But you're not embodying that frustration in the same way, right?
I was just thinking.
I get.
It's
hard because I'm contradicted. I feel contradiction.
Investigation.
Effectively contradicted.
Yeah.
A term that I've been using a lot recently.
Like certainly you can enjoy the franchise because there's so much more. Like there's like characters and like narrative aspects and things.
How long?
Because I think I brought this up a couple times. I'm fascinated by people who make edits of video games that are ahistorical, that are from different time periods and console generations, have different aesthetics, but they mesh them all together for like
came
cool
from
edits,
Lely's
right?
dad.
On like TikTok
right
or like
there.
on whatever.
And it was his
So I'm kind of
army
fascinated by
cat.
like the kind of
He said his real
aestheticizing
name
of
wasn't his.
video game stuff
I
as
tried
well,
to
pry at
especially in
him,
the kind of
but
like
it was no
social
use.
media space.
Like, if anything, like where I've seen like LARPing like actually happening is like weirdly in like niche erotic visual novels, where it's like there's a lot of like teenagers who they like the design of the characters, but they actually find the content of the game like morally abhorrent. And so they're just like, I'm just taking this character out of this thing, and I'm like, well, I was like, if they're from something you think is like morally bad, I think
That's fascinating too.
I was like, then why are you even engaging with it?
Yeah.
It just very much feels like peak like cognitive dissonance.
Appropriation too.
That's a good start.
There's like weird examples of
It
like
just occurred to me.
covers of
like,
alt country
we
tunes
still
where they
haven't
drop
found the
verses
film
because
that
it's
we
not like
Oh.
Christian appropriate.
Sure.
You're like, all right, just don't cover the song. Then.
Yeah, exactly. Go cover something else.
Nobody's
Yeah.
forcing you to do this.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably a breach of copyright.
Right.
Some kind of
That's
fun original
fascinating.
part.
Yeah.
I suggest we go and perform it now and return once we've brought.
I feel a
ourselves into
contradiction in
Excuse
terms
the
of like
delay. The
older
situation
PS2
will be addressed
games
now.
The young
where it's
woman
like
nods.
I can tell
The same
by the
small
edit that you just
heavy
made
door.
that you are young and you are not old enough to have played
I don't know.
Galarians on the
It is not
PS2. You know, where it's like,
The hostile cafeteria creaks
and I know it's a game that's very hard to
Some
like
of the
get your
vigilante
hands on
will
unless you
is barred
emulate
from
it,
the
right?
inside.
And then there's the extra layer of people being like, well, it's, people in third world countries can emulate it. It's like, that's a bad argument to have, you know? It's like
Pointing out systemic issues.
Yeah, like you're getting into a real slippery slope territory here, you know? Like, it's like, yeah, of course I kind of like, like I get the embodied frustration, and then at the same time, but I'm also like, but my game, it's like you didn't play my, it's like, you didn't go through the experience of playing my game too, so. And you're obviously using it for your cool edits, because the aesthetics are cool of Galarians. I know I played it when I was.
I played it when it came out.
The game is marked with decaying veins.
Not your weird digitally rendered and upgraded emulator. version
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
game.
Yeah, when it actually was on the PS2, like.
You know why it looked shit? Because it wasn't built for digital.
Which is another fascinating thing too that I find interesting with the kind of rhetoric of this too, where it's like people just saying retro aesthetics are just all PS2 likes now. And it's like, no, you could never get that sort of cell shading within like all the graphical kind of fidelity like arguments that you have are just driving me nuts now.
I tried to download Dragon Age Origins, and it does not work.
Really?
Like you can run the game, but all of the shading and all of the graphical fidelity, it's just like empty space.
Right.
Because the graphics can't render in like a digital format.
Right.
It's just like, all right, like, no, you haven't played the game because you can't see the game.
Right. It literally does not work.
Yeah.
So it's again the effective contradiction of these like experiences. Just I don't know, it just drives me nuts in a way. But maybe that's the point. Maybe that's like what gaming really is, right? Maybe it's just at its core effectively contradicted.
Here's my issue, right? As I think about a game like Expedition 33.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I had not played the game, I would not hate it so.
Fair.
Right?
Fair. Mm-hmm.
So like if I can't have the emotional response in a negative way without playing the game, I don't think that the positive emotional response is the same either.
Interesting.
Because you and I both hated that game.
Very much so.
And I think the reason, if we had just like watched play-alongs or whatever, I don't think we would have hated it so viscerally.
Mm-hmm. That is true. It's so hard to know. I don't know. Yeah. Because I hated it just because I didn't play a lot of it. I watched you play most of it, and I freaking hated it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because I was so close to you in terms of like
proximity,
proximity,
and, like, a shared experience, and like the labor of streaming,
right?
And
Exactly.
the feeling of obligation,
right?
Yeah.
maybe that added to it. But man, it pissed me the frig off. Just the aesthetics too. because I don't know, Unreal 5's. Whenever I see Unreal 5 face now, I get so mad. Because I don't know how else to describe it, but all those characters have Unreal 5 engine face.
It's the same thing in like analog games. People who use Hero Forge to like make their minis.
Mm-hmm.
Like every hero, there's like a distinct aesthetic to Hero Forge. Mm-hmm. That every model from Hero Forge kind of looks the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's just the language. I mean, speaking of too, speaking back to Backrooms, what I did like about the ending is the scientist character comes in and talks to the therapist character and speaking to kind of like the scientific element that he's seeing the space through. Where he's like, this might be the most important thing of our existence at the time because their company used to do MRI machines, and it's a kind of a new way of neural pathing, basically. That seemed to be what I got from the lore explanation or the exposition.
Sorry, which game are you saying?
Oh no, this is the Backrooms movie.
The Backrooms.
Yeah, and but even the language that he uses.
Why must we stop to?
Feels very much like the language you would use to describe, like I would use to describe a liminal place to somebody, and I was like, nice. Like it was very cool.
I agree. I am not pleased with a bunch of half-informed TikTokers and YouTube Shorts creators putting out top 10 lists of liminal spaces and having a fundamental misunderstanding
of what
liminal is.
Yeah. And I mean, which is what pisses me off about the word liminal, of course.
Right.
and how
at best you mean liminoid spaces.
Exactly.
But I don't even think you're quite right there.
Right. And there's just so much kind of rhetoric that goes along with that, right? But it was just like the way it was put. You could tell that it was informed by somebody who understands what the experience really is. And I don't know, it was just very fascinating, and I was like, oh yes, somebody actually did it in, and I can only imagine Kane Parsons, the guy the young man who made the movie who can't drink yet. I can only imagine him going to all of these like press junkets and having someone be like, "Isn't it crazy how liminal like this space is?" And he's just like, "No, it's not really liminal."
Not even close, bro.
Yeah. I can only imagine like having to be put through the ringer about somebody who's like actually feels like who I feel like actually has a connection to this, right. And I can understand what that experience is.
Has an understanding of the theory.
Yeah. And
can I just point out that this game expects computer mice to be fucking enormous? What the hell? What's happening?
Huge mouse.
I know that seems like a ridiculous thing to get hung up on.
It is a huge mouse, though. It's like when you go into an Unreal 5 engine like room, and like the like ceilings are like 18 times too big. It's like this apartment would be like $5,000 a month.
This apartment wouldn't happen because it's too small in width and depth to account for the height. And like no one would build this tall a ceiling on this small an apartment.
Your like telephone is this big. It's as big as your head. Like,
it's like they're gonna start charging like a warehouse for cubic foot here soon.
Speaking of those.
Yeah, we got some more information on the case. Our two biggest roadblocks right now is like can't get into the fucking harbor.
Can't get into the harbor.
And therefore I can't inspect the body, which are both holding me up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might consult a guide and be like, did I fuck myself? Because at least tomorrow in game, even if we don't get to do these two things, the harbor or the other place will open.
Yeah.
And so we'll have more options of ways to level up, which should help us eventually get into the harbor.
I think there's some ways that we can still get do this.
This is very the consequences of my actions. I didn't realize the choice I made, like, you know, a couple weeks ago was gonna fuck me over so bad.
Yeah.
The good news about me having meetings and not being here for lunch zone is that I won't distract Jordan.
I'll actually lock in. Well, actually, you can lock in next time.
So yeah, next time we'll see what we can do.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.